Well, fortunately, this one was dead, but he wasn't that long dead. He was still intact. But that radio had been sitting in a garage on the bottom of a pile. I think I posted a picture of that pile at one point.
Yeah, I think I might have remembered something like that.
And then it got quiet.
He was sitting around all night waiting for them Mexicans to be quiet so he could say that.
10-4. Evening, Pete, Sandbagger, Tim, Dr. Hammer, whoever else is out there.
Welcome back, 44.
Hello, Quarter Wave Dave.
Hello, Dave. Top of the evening to you. Corinne got sent home.
10-4. Well, how do you like that challenge with that there food? That guy really gulped that down, didn't he?
Better him than me, I always say.
10-4. I was glad to see him win immunity.
Yeah, I think that's probably about the first time he did. I don't recall him ever winning it the first time he was on.
10-4. Yeah, I was the first. Yeah, I heard you there, Tim. Doing okay.
I didn't think you'd have any trouble hearing me.
10-4.
Ooh, somebody stepped on the gas. Who, me? Yeah. Yeah, I cranked up the power a little bit.
You're reading an S7 on the old Metrotek Pacer over here.
Yeah, buddy.
I do like the S-meter on this thing. I was hoping I could capture it well. I'm video gating again, and I think I got it. I could trying to capture the meter, but it, you know, being backlit, it's kind of bright. I think I got the right angle and everything now.
That's that vertical bar meter, right?
It reminds me very much of an air draft gauge, old style for boilers, just in miniature.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of an old process controller that I used to work on when I worked for Leeds at Northwood.
And it just sort of has a, you know, a bounce to it as it moves and then settles.
A friend of mine had a Heathkit general coverage receiver with a meter like that in it once.
I think it's cool. I like the S-meter. It's wide, it's vertical, it's got a, the needle itself is wide. It's easy to see, you know, and I'm hoping I can capture that.
I'm sure you will.
It's like the S-meter on an R27 Browning receiver. The R27, not the 2700, it's got the little skinny one, but the 27's got the fat meter like that. Real easy to see, especially if it's well lit.
That's right, those older Brownings had those vertical meters on them. Where did Mr. Night Train go?
I guess the train has left the station. Maybe mid roundup debrief.
I was going to say, he must be getting debriefed or something.
Family interruptus.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure he wouldn't mind if somebody pulled his briefs off.
Oh, yeah, well maybe he got caught with his hand dick.
Oh, that wouldn't be good.
I left my hand dick on the shelf.
Damn Swedes.
You know, he was saying something about I couldn't get the modulation turned up in that thing. I couldn't either. I think mine's turned up all the way, but I found a aftermarket power hand mic that works real good on that radio that imparts a little bit of swing to it and brings the audio up. I might run it on the roundup next week.
It sounds good. Go for it.
Yeah, I talked a little DX with it here last week when I had it in line. Our radio performs pretty good. It don't keep at about 3.5 watts, and it don't swing much past about 8. But I mean, with that new mic on it, you talk into it, and the needle responds right now, and so does the watt meter.
There you go.
What'd you do? Turn your beam, Dave?
Not recently.
You dropped from a 9 down to a 5.
Really? Don't know how that happened.
He went from a 9 to a 10 over here.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Dumb shit. Operator error. I bumped my RF gain.
That's good to know. But I gotta say, I'm looking at the meters, and I had the beam a little bit more up towards quarter wave Dave, but then I did move it back down, but not, it wasn't like right away. It was some time ago, I guess.
Now with this radio, I shouldn't have any trouble coming in the back of your beam.
Yeah, and everybody here gains a little bit on this radio as it warms up.
Well, if I put you in the no, I won't hear you.
Maybe.
Yeah, because unless you're giving me over a 9, I can pretty much drop you down to nothing.
Well, I doubt if I'm giving you that kind of a signal.
Yeah, you're about an 8. You're not far off.
Can't believe this radio's got the drive it does.
What radio is that?
Mine 2995.
Okay. Yeah, there's some punch to those things. They got a little bit of power behind them.
Yeah, especially this one has been modified it out the gills.
Well, you really had to do that, especially the older ones, because the power supplies and all of those things were not reliable at all.
I think this is one of the newer ones because it's got the dual MOSFET finals in it.
Oh, then it's got the switching supply in it too then. Because the older one had the big heavy transformer in it, but the regulator transistors on the back, they never put the right amount of heat compound on it. And they didn't mount them right, and the regulators would burn out. There was problems with them.
It's got the 42 amp power supply in it. A meanwhile 42 amp power supply. It's got the dual MOSFET finals. It's got the, I don't know what else. They did a lot of shit to this radio.
Yeah, that's one of the newer ones. They put a lot of upgrades in those. The earlier ones were a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I don't know how accurate my MFJ meter and my MFJ tuner is, but it says I'm dead 2 and 50 driving almost to 100.
Yeah, that's a fair amount of swing.
I think it might be a little generous.
If it's a dozy meter,
It's MFJ.
well, I would think they'd be a little bit better, but you never know.
I know in sideband when I got this puppy cranked up on high power, man, she'll do 250.
Wow, that's a lot from right out of the radio.
I'll tell you what, they don't even break a sweat.
Yeah, they don't even need any amplifier when you got that kind of power coming right out of the box.
Yeah, a lot of Kenwoods in that neighborhood. 200 watts on sideband.
And when I brought this radio down there, he hooked it up and went through the paces with it. And on his bird meter, on high power on sideband, he was getting 2 1/4 on his bird.
Good thing you didn't put his bird on the Handic.
Now y'all getting started with that again. Train is back on the track.
Oh, the debriefing's over.
Yeah, that's definitely what it was, man. No doubt about it.
Well, you know, I'm sure everybody likes to have their briefs taken off or whatever, debriefed. Hand-icks on your briefs, I don't know.
It certainly wasn't that kind of debriefing, I'll tell you that. I just had to hear what went on during the course of the day there, Jennifer.
That's right. Gotta have the debriefing.
Yeah, let's check this thing for frequency. She's just a wee bit high.
Yeah, but otherwise that thing sounds real good. I like the sound of that robin.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way it looked, too. If nothing else, man, that little green light.
Yeah.
A little tube in there. But other than that, I kind of like the 123B a little better. I don't know. I think the way that's arranged or something seems to be more pleasing to the eye, other than the tube. That makes the earlier one.
That's the one I like. I want that Cardin Spitfire. It's basically that radio. The green eye modulation tube.
Well, you know what? See, I have a problem. I don't want to get rid of none of them because one got this and that and the other one has this, this, and that. So therefore, I'm stuck with both of them. Usually when I get one that supersedes the other one, I'll let the other go. But in this case, it looked like a tie. 10-4?
You like them both for different reasons.
Absolutely. Now, I'm wondering if the 123 is an American-made radio. I know that the B is Japanese, but I'm wondering if this was before they turned it over to the Japanese.
I think they were all Panasonic chassis radios. I don't think any of them were. But maybe not. There might have been a cutover period.
I figured at some point, you know, because the green tube, man, that seems real American, man.
Yeah, but because the Cardin Spitfire is a pretty much carbon copy of it, so the fact that different manufacturers have the same exact radio, that tells me they're mass-produced in Japan. Because back when they were American-made, each brand was strictly unique.
Yeah, and I've seen that green eye tube in many radios from many different places. I've got a couple early Grundig radios that use that as the tuning tube.
Man, I like that little Pacer, man.
Pacer is the one that's doing the video gates right now for Classic Radio Roundup.
Well, you'll be able to hear what I'm hearing, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know how this one sounds compared to it.
Well, you'll have to check it out. You'll hear what it sounds like on my end anyway. And yeah, I'm having fun with the video gate thing. Why not?
Breaker.
Alright.
Hey, thanks. I jumped back in here after the boys got tucked in Sparky on the Pacer 2. We're out pacing.
A pair of Metroteks on the air. That's what Classic Radio Roundup's all about.
Beats a pair of Handicks.
Are you on a Handic right now?
No, sir, I'm on a Johnson 223.
10-4. Yeah, look at me. I ain't doing nothing, man. I wonder what the deal is on that.
Yeah, I'm on that Johnson 223 Messenger with a Simonized front end.
Yeah, at least Simon out of it.
Yeah, but maybe Simon's more friendly than Murphy.
10 Roger, right on. I figured just since you're video gating out there, I figured I'll give this one a real quick shout here and see what high fidelity audio sounds like.
Oh, I know what one you're running. Is that the one with the EQ in it?
That would be the one.
Oh, well, you're going to love the way it sounds on the Metrotek Pacer because it's one of those radios that just gives most radios a high fidelity received sound.
Gotta love those tube receivers. They do reproduce the lows and they reproduce the highs. 127.115 on your AM dial. This is Classic Radio Roundup.
You know what amazes me though, the attraction of the Pacer? They're so damn simple and so few tubes.
It's the Muntz TV of CB radios.
Pete.
Come on, Night Train.
Now, are any of those tubes in there doubling? Because it detectors, only 7 of them in there, and do we have anybody hiding inside of another tube?
Yeah, there's a couple of tubes, you know, there's triodes in there, and there's one tube that's got four plates on it.
That's a quad rectifier.
Roger, so in essence it's not as small of an amount of tubes as it appeared to be.
And Dave, I don't think that's a rectifier, it's the 6T8 tube.
Well, they're just diode tubes. I mean, you got a 9-pin tube. How many elements can you wire to 9 pins?
Well, that one's doing, you know, a lot of duty.
Yeah, but I think they're diode tubes.
I gotta get the book.
Most of them are used for detectors and noise blankers.
So it might be used in the receive section.
Well, yeah, that's what they're used for. Most tube radios have tubes in them that have at least dual sections. You know, like a what the heck? Well, there's a bunch of tubes like that. I think the 3apr13d's like that. It's dual.
Yeah, there's a lot of dual section tubes, and that's what I'm getting at. There's dual section, 3 sections, and 4 section. And what I'm saying is they're using fewer tubes, but they're using all the sections in the tubes. Because there is a 3apr13d in there, and you use all of it, you know. So you're using a minimal amount of tubes, but the maximum amount of capability of those tubes. Where other radios, you'll see the 3apr13d, they're only using half of it.
I've very rarely ever seen that. Most of the radios are using both halves for whatever reason. Usually the 3apr13d will use one half of it for a microphone preamp, and then the other half might be the receiver first audio stage before into the driver stage or whatever.
Another comment question.
Say again, there, Night Train.
Here, hang on one second. The 6T8 tube is a detector voltage amplifier, and it has 4 different complete plates in it.
Yeah, it's in the detector. That's what I figured. They usually use those in detectors and in the noise limiters.
Yeah, well, all I'm saying is instead of putting in, say, 2 separate tubes, they can put in 1 tube right in that spot, you know? So it eliminates circuitry right there.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. A lot of people did that because it's a good idea.
Well, that's the thing I'm trying to point out. You know, they economized everything they had the best that they can and came out with a pretty decent product.
Yes, they did. Because, 7 in a day, that's like on the low end of tubes, for a common radio. Most of them are like 9 or 10, for like a Comstat or something.
I have a real technical question. It's getting off the subject a little bit, but it's about linear amplifiers.
Yeah, and some linear amplifiers aren't so linear, but okay.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you about. Exactly what is linear and what makes it linear. And then I was told that there's some that won't be happy unless you run it at a certain input and a certain current, great current. But are there amps that you can run just as low as you want to without the amp complaining because you're not giving it enough excite?
Okay, here's the deal, okay? A linear amplifier simply means that the amplifier faithfully reproduces proportionally what you put into it. So if you put 1 watt into it and you have a 10 dB gain, you get 10 watts out. And then if you jump it to 2 watts, you get 20 watts out. So the increase is proportional to the input. An amplifier that's not linear will amplify differently depending on where it falls in the drive area. But any amplifier can be driven into compression where you put too much drive in and it can't reproduce any more output. So that's why you have to keep it into a range where it is linear and you don't run out of headroom. Class C amplifiers, because they're not biased properly, they tend to fall off real quickly on the low end. So if you underdrive them, they have this super sick amount of gain in this one little area, and that's why people run them like that, so they have all this swing. But they sound like crap because they're non-linear.
Roger that. Now what about a real linear amplifier underdriven? What would you expect?
If it's a true linear amplifier, you can run the drive down as much as you want. It's still going to be linear, as long as it's biased properly.
Roger that. You answered that, and you answered it real well. That's exactly what I was looking for. 10-4, I appreciate that.
Breaker.
And for printed copies, please write Classic Radio Roundup, P.O. Box 1, Douglasville, Pennsylvania, 19518.
Where specifications are subject to change without notice. Printing copies are unavailable upon request. Go ahead, Skeeter.
Baker in there. Hello there. 3 minutes late for the roundup.
2 hours and 3 minutes.
What's going on, Skeeter?
He's going by the Skeeter time. Hello, Skeeter. Countywide Radio 441.
Hello, 441, Sandbagger Night Train, and I think I heard Sparky in there.
And Quarterwave Dave's out there in the distance, and so is Tim, if he's still in there.
And Roger. On the Quarterwave Dave, he must be at his new address.
Oh, I didn't know he had a new address. No, he's at his normal place.
Oh, he's up on Huff's Church?
10-4.
And Roger. What are you talking on, Bagger? Hello, Night Train.
I'm running my high-fidelity Galaxy for the moment.
And 4. Sounds pretty good.
Skeeter, what you running?
Cobra 2000. I ain't have a chance to warm nothing up.
Roger, this is my Robin 120.